from welterweight to face Gegard Mousasi. Well, things didn't work out too well for Rory McDonald. So what did you learn from his fight, and what will you do differently?
Yeah, that didn't go too good for him, of course. But no, I think I'm a different fighter. I'm a little bit bigger than him as well. And I don't know, Rory just wasn't himself that night, so I can't really count on that fight. Of course, Mousasi looked amazing. He did what he had to do. He hurt him early, with those jabs. And I don't know, I think Rory just felt, how the weight, the power of him. But I feel pretty good. I'm a different fighter than him for sure, different styles. And definitely going to be a different story with me. I don't know, I'm feeling good right now, at this middleweight. Do this weight cut tonight and see how I'm feeling fight time. But everything went good. Training camp has been amazing. Feel really strong, feel ready to go, and feel ready to get this belt.
And speaking of your training camp, how has it changed during the pandemic era? What have you had to change?
It just wasn't, as many people as it was before, but we always kept training. My brother was in there in camp, Jucão, a bunch of my training partners. It wasn't a lot of quantity, but it was a lot of quality. We had maybe 4 or 5 guys, in training camp when everything shut down. But we always kept training, you know what I mean? Did a lot of strength and conditioning as well, trying to get the strength a little higher for this fight. No complaints, man. Even though, everything was shut down, we kept working, I opened a gym, during this time. So I can't complain about anything. Everything has been good.
Our next question comes from the line of Donna Corby. Donna, go ahead.
Hey, Douglas, how's it going? I wanted to ask about MVP. He's been calling you out ever since you fought him, and you've made some sort of thinly veiled responses. But I want to give you the opportunity to reply to what you've heard from Michael Venom Page over the last year.
Fight contenders. I'm a champion. I'm here to fight contenders. If you want a shot at me, go fight guys that that's gonna put you next in line for a title shot. You know what I mean? He's been doing good. He's been winning his fights. I just, I need to fight contender. You know what I mean? You can't fight people that has less than 5 fights and ask for a title fight. No disrespect to anybody. No disrespect to him as well. But if you want to fight the champion, man, you gotta fight fights that get you there. You know what I mean? It's not just talk. You know what I mean? You gotta fight contenders. That's what I've been doing my whole career. Every time I lost the belt, I fought the number 1 guy next in line for it. You know what I mean? I had to go through a tournament to get my belt the last time around. So you know what you do. If you're ready, if Bellator says you're ready, I'm here. I'm here for whoever's next. But like I said, I'm a champion and I fight contenders.
Also, a lot of fighters have found when they have 2 belts, making the weight cut down to the lower weight class where they have the belt is always a little bit more difficult. Do you plan on leaving the welterweight division, or are you going to find it relatively easy to jump between the 2?
No, I don't think. No, I'm not leaving the welterweight division. That's my weight class. I think there's a lot more fights for me to do there. But let's see how it feels. Thursday night. Right now everything feels great. But I'm still the same weight. That I am when I fight at 170. I usually walk around at 200 pounds. For middleweight, cut 15 pounds. Welterweight, suffer a little more, but I can make the weight no problem. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I want to fight on both divisions. I want to win this belt. My goal is to get this belt Thursday and defend both. Defend both belts, stay busy. You know what I mean? Get as many fights as I can. Enjoy my prime time. I feel healthy. I feel good. I just want to stay busy as much as I can.
Giancarlo?
Hi, Douglas. You're just talking about the weight cut, and now fighting at this kind of division at middleweight, do you think that Gegard Mousasi, a similar guy who's had to cut weight from light heavyweight before, have you seen something in his game that you'll be able to exploit in his last performances?
No, man. Mousasi he's a complete fighter. He's good everywhere. He's a great striker. He's a good wrestler. He's really good on the ground. So we just got to find the right timing, connect a good punch, and be ready to fight 5 rounds. I know it's going to be a hard fight. He's going to be ready to fight everywhere. Same with me. I've done what I could, with this training camp. I train hard. You know, I pay my dues in the gym, and I'm ready to fight him. You know, I know he's good. He's probably gonna be, you know, a little bit bigger than myself, but it is what it is. You know, it's challenges, man. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. You know, that's what I'm coming into this fight, you know, thinking about, because man, it's he's a gamer. He's been in the sport for a long time. You know, he fought the who's and who, fought heavyweight, light heavyweight. So I know it's a tough challenge, you know, and that's why I wanted, you know, this type of fight, you know. So especially, you know, with the belt on the line, you know, this is huge. This is a super fight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And final one for me, you've been a who's who in the Bellator welterweight division. Do you think the Bellator division, especially welterweight, gets the respect that it deserves compared to when people talk about the UFC?
I mean, if you understand the sport, you know it does. You know, a bunch of killers, you know, a bunch of up-and-comers, you know, welterweight division is stacked in Bellator. You know, people know that, man. People know that. The top 10, top 7, there's a lot of good guys in the ex-UFC fighters as well, you know, guys that's been on top over there. So everybody knows that we got a deep division, and definitely can compete with anybody in the world.
Santiago?
Hi, Douglas. Is your brother going to be in your corner?
For sure. He's always here with me. You know what I mean? He's about to cook my meal, you know, for post weigh-in. You know, he's you know, my main training partner as always. You know, he's here for sure.
I love him. He's the best, man. Hey, your takedown defense against Rory was stunning to see. Really high level. Do you think Gegard wants to take this to the mat?
Definitely. He said it himself. You know, he wants to wrestle me as well. I don't know if it's because he's bigger or he wants to put more weight on top of me, but he said he's going to wrestle me. So I prepare for the wrestling, prepare for the striking, and pretty much, you know, ready for everything. Because like I said, Mousasi is a complete fighter. You know, he's good everywhere. So I'm sure he's going to try to fight this fight, you know, wherever, you know, like on every aspect of fighting. You know, he wants to strike me, wrestle me. He pretty much want to mix everything up. That's what I feel from him. And we're ready for it. You know what I mean? We're prepared. You know, been training for this for like a whole year, you know, so I'll be ready for sure.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Damon Martin.
Hey, Douglas, you mentioned after this, you know, you're obviously more than willing to go back to welterweight, but we have seen Bellator allowing guys hold 2 titles and defend 2 titles, but it has been difficult. We saw with Ryan Bader, he went back down to light heavyweight, and he talked about how difficult it was, and obviously he didn't have his best night against Nemkov. Are you confident in being a 2-division champion, or you look at this as saying, I want to win middleweight and then, you know, focus back on welterweight? Like, where's your head at after this fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You know, definitely be harder, you know, to make welterweight, but that's something that's been hard my whole career. You know, there are times where I thought, man, I can't do this. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna make weight this time, but I always do it. You know, it's my job. You know, it's part of the job, and I'm walking around the same as I do for welterweight. You know, so I don't think it'll be that much more difficult because I didn't. You know, maybe I had 3-4 pounds, you know, during training camp, but I didn't get that much bigger. That would be impossible for me to make welterweight again, you know. But I can, you know, give me 8 weeks, I can comfortably make 170 again, you know, make 185 whenever I want to, because, you know, it's a lot easier. But first, I want to see how this feels at middleweight. You know, I can't wait. I'm fighting one of the big guys, you know, at middleweight. You know, a guy that's fought, you know, higher weight classes before. So, yeah, this is a perfect fight for me to see, you know, where I stand as far as power, you know, when it comes to middleweight. Because, you know, guys definitely going to be bigger and stronger. But, you know, I feel good. I feel good about it. You know, middleweight, something that I thought of doing my whole career. You know, I did it last time, it was 10 years ago. You know, I won 3 fights at middleweight. I won a tournament. And, you know, ready to keep this going. You know, definitely fight at both weight classes.
Last one, Douglas, you know, we've seen a lot lately. I mean, you've throughout your career, you've had to, I won't say defend yourself, but you've, you know, touted yourself as the best welterweight in the sport, even when compared to the UFC guys. And I know it's kind of a pointless argument because you're not in the UFC and the UFC guys aren't coming to Bellator, but becoming a 2-division champion is so rare. It's such a rare thing we've seen in this sport. Do things like pound-for-pound rankings, does that matter to you? Would you like that kind of consideration if everything goes well on Thursday night because you've been such a long-reigning welterweight champion? Adding on middleweight, I mean, there's only a handful of guys who've ever done that.
Yeah, definitely. Super important for me, and definitely want my name on the pound for pound list, after this win. I've said it. I even said that before, it's a legacy fight, man. It's a super fight. You know what I mean? Being a welterweight forever, I fought the who's and whoever came to Bellator, I fought them. Got wins, against good guys, and definitely think I belong in the pound for pound list. But I got to prove it, with this fight Thursday night. It is important for me. Sometimes, rankings doesn't really matter, but it's just good to see, good to see your name up there because, the work that I've been doing this whole time, I've been fighting for 17 years already, I think, so it's been a while, man. It's been a while, and it's important when people recognize what you're doing. But, I'm not losing sleep over it, you know what I mean? I know where I stand. I know I can beat any welterweight in the world, you know what I mean? Middleweight as well. So, I feel good, man. I feel good. And this win, this fight would definitely put me up there, in the pound for pound list. You know what I mean? It's important.
We'll take a couple more here. Ben, go ahead.
Hi, Douglas. You mentioned before about Mousasi's bigger size and how that may have played a factor in the Rory McDonald fight. And I'm just wondering if there's anything other than his size, any specific weapons he has that you think will pose a challenge to you.
Yeah, I mean, everything he does, man. He's a good striker. His jab is good. His right hand is good. His ground and pound is really solid. So, man, I got to be ready for everything. You know what I mean? I got to be on top of my game in this fight. You know what I mean? I got to be ready at all times, at every second. And so does he, you know what I mean? So it's a dangerous fight for both of us. I can finish the fight in any second. He can do as well. He can do the same thing. And I just got to be ready. Just got to make sure I'm on top of my game. And I feel like that, man. I feel good. I had a great training camp. I did everything that I could, and I feel really good about it. I feel really good about this fight. It's a type of fight that I've been wanting for a while, against such a game opponent like him, all my respect, but I can't wait to perform against him, man, on Thursday night. And I feel really good. I got to, like I said, be on top of my game.
Our last question comes from the line of Chris DeSantiago. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Douglas. Thanks for the time today.
Of course.
So would you consider Mousasi your biggest opponent today? Do you think he's your biggest challenge, or do you think that lies with somebody like Rory McDonald?
I mean, I think every next fight, every fight that I'm about to fight, I think that's my biggest. I definitely look at it like that. But Mousasi is no different. He definitely is because, like I said, he fought the who's and who's. He fought in bigger weight classes before. And, he fought in, 3 weight classes above mine, you know what I mean? Just for me to go up, and fight a guy like that, it's important. And, I definitely feel he's the best that I've fought so far, you know what I mean? And I took it serious, man. I took this very serious. I trained really hard, It's a dangerous fight, of course, for me, for him. And there's a lot on the line, man. This middleweight title is super important for me. You know what I mean? It's definitely, it's for legacy. You know what I mean? That's what I want to leave behind, a guy that fights whoever's next in line. You know what I mean? And super important, man. I know he's tough. I know he's been around with the best, but I believe in myself. I believe in my coaches. I believe in my training. And I did everything, man. I did everything, and I'm ready to go Thursday night.
Great. Thank you so much for the time, Douglas. Good luck the rest of the week.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.